It's all covered in today's China Truths.
Once hailed as the pride of China's technology revolution, now they lie abandoned. Rows of lifeless electric cars rusting in the graveyards of failure. This is the story of China's new energy empire, a dream built with the full might of the Communist Party, now collapsing before the world's eyes. In just 5 years, over 400 Chinese new energy vehicle companies have gone bankrupt. Price wars, fake factories, unfinished cars. The once glorious electric boom has turned into a national tragedy. What was supposed to lead the Made in China 2025 plan has now become another grave marker of collapse, following the downfall of real estate. When steel mills shut down, the government poured their excess steel into car manufacturing. Real estate agents, phone sellers, even rat poison dealers jumped in, thinking they could build a car and make a fortune. The result? PowerPoint car companies, startups that existed only in slides, not in factories. Ordinary people were lured in by the illusion. For just 200,000 yuan, you could drive away in a shiny EV with a refrigerator, a sofa, and a Rolls-Royce starry sky ceiling. For a while, it felt like luxury for the masses, until the battery started dying. Now that same 100,000 yuan car needs an 80,000 yuan battery replacement. For some models, the battery alone costs more than the car itself. The warranty period of the first wave of EV-winners has expired, and they are discovering the cruel reality. Replacing a battery isn't repair, it's financial ruin. Manufacturers integrated batteries into the car body to save space and boost range. But it also means a single cell failure can force owners to replace the entire pack. A disguised scam and a disaster for users. Insurance companies are cashing in too. Insurance premiums for EVs have surged by 52%, now 21% higher than for gasoline cars. China's electric car miracle has turned into a black hole of debt, deception, and despair. Even giants like NIO have burned through nearly 100 billion yuan without turning a profit. Xiaomi's EV dream is bleeding red ink. Only a few, like BYD and Li Auto, are barely surviving. The rest are sinking fast. This isn't innovation. It's desperation. This isn't a new energy revolution. It's the final spark before total collapse. Only the first wave of new energy vehicle owners has begun to experience the nightmare of battery failure. But millions more are waiting in line. NIO's chairman, Li Bin, warned it that between now and 2032, 20 million EVs in China will see their warranties expire. During that time, more automakers will likely collapse, leaving owners helpless, without after-sales service, without justice, and without even a place to complain. The truth is harsh. This crisis is only beginning. The so-called future of mobility may soon become a graveyard of abandoned dreams, paid for by millions of ordinary Chinese families. For some, that nightmare has already arrived. Thousands of buyers of unfinished EVs can only watch their cars rot, unfixable and unsellable, their hard-earned savings turning into scrap metal and regret. Man, a few years ago, people mocked the traditional BBA brands, calling them bad brand electrics, laughing that the rich were fools. But never underestimate the judgment of the wealthy. Now, the boomerang has come back hard. Over the past 2 years, countless new EV makers have gone bankrupt. After unfinished apartments, we now have unfinished cars. According to China Business News, Nasia Auto alone has left more than 400,000 owners stranded, with expired warranties and denied insurance claims. Can they sell their cars? Not even used car dealers dare to buy them. These people worked for years to afford a car, only to see their dreams collapse overnight. That's why buying from a century-old brand means buying security. Even companies like Mitsubishi, Suzuki, and Renault, though gone from China, still honor after-sales service. The difference speaks for itself. Meanwhile, new car prices are soaring and the used car market is collapsing. According to the China Automobile Dealers Association, 73.6% of used car dealers lost money in the first half of 2025. The China Automobile Distribution Industry Report shows that while transaction volume rose, The average price plunged from RMB 61,080 in 2024 to RMB 53,670, a 12.3% drop. Sales of new energy vehicles now make up 36.7% of China's auto market, but used EV inventory is piling up fast. By June 2020, the average inventory cycle stretched to 43 days, with over a third of dealers stuck holding stock they can't sell. Proof that pressure on automakers is reaching a breaking point. Consulting firm Alex Partners predicts that by 2030, only 15 out of 129 Chinese electric and hybrid car brands will survive. Even industry leaders admit it. He Xiaopeng, CEO of XPeng Motors, said that to stay alive by 2030, each company must sell at least 3 million vehicles annually, a goal only 8 might reach. Yet XPeng sold just 190,000 cars in 2024. China's car price war has entered its third brutal year. Experts say the only cure is mass bankruptcies. But local officials are too afraid. Because when automakers fall, millions lose jobs, and China's fragile economy cracks even deeper. There's a saying spreading online: you're not buying a car, you're buying a scrap metal certificate. After China's new energy dream collapsed, entire server systems went dark overnight, turning thousands of high-tech cars into lifeless metal shells. Windows no longer open, software can't start, and repairs cost a fortune. Even worse, batteries can't be replaced with third-party cells. The replacements often cost more than the car itself. Most parts have been discontinued, leaving owners to scavenge for components, while a single control module now sells for over 10,000 yuan. This chaos didn't happen by accident. It was engineered by the Chinese Communist Party's blind industrial policy. In 2009, Beijing poured billions into electric vehicle subsidies, ordering automakers to mass produce and consumers to buy. By 2017, it unveiled an even grander vision, a target of 35 million vehicles by 2020. Almost double U.S. annual sales. At that time, China's real estate market was overheating. To replace falling land revenue, local governments turned to the auto industry as their new economic pillar. They offered land, tax breaks, and incentives, not to build sustainable businesses, but to hit production targets on paper. As a result, countless companies that should have gone bankrupt were kept alive by local subsidies, creating a bubble too large to sustain. In 2021, Anhui's Changfeng County lured EV giant BYD with cheap land, 8.3 square kilometers sold at prices 40% lower than the market average, according to Reuters. In 22, Xiaomi followed suit, acquiring factory land in Beijing's Yizhuang district equal to 206 football fields, also at discounted prices. In return, Beijing demanded the factory generate 47 billion yuan in annual revenue, a target detached from reality. Between 2014 and 2019, more than 60 new car brands appeared in China. Today, only a few names survive: Li Auto, Leapmotor, NIO, XPeng, Xiaomi, and Jawstone. The rest have fallen into silence. Together, these failed startups once promised to produce 3.89 million vehicles and attracted 107 billion yuan in financing. Money now vanished into the dust of abandoned factories. With most automakers bankrupt or gone, local governments are left with empty plants, unpaid debts, and shattered illusions. The great new energy dream has turned into a nationwide scrapyard, where ambition, greed, and politics met their final crash.
China's property collapse was only the opening act. A new, even bigger storm is gathering on the horizon. Experts argue over whether China is sliding into deflation or inflation. But on one point, there is no dispute: the economy is stuck in a dangerous depression. Renowned investor Bells recently warned that the real estate disaster is just the tip of the iceberg. If left unresolved, it could trigger a full-scale financial meltdown. According to Bells, China once inflated the largest asset bubble in human history, real estate valued at a staggering 450 trillion yuan. Now that the bubble has burst, prices are in freefall, marking a world-changing moment. Any leader who ignores this reality is playing with fire. On the surface, today's weakness looks like poor consumption, but the root cause is deeper. Families already borrowed against their future for decades. With debt repayments crushing household budgets, there's simply no money left to spend. Yet Beijing shows no urgency, taking no decisive action. The longer this drags on, the more inevitable a wave of bad loans becomes, pushing banks into crisis. Bells explained the vicious cycle. When consumers run out of cash, businesses collapse, mortgage defaults spread, and the banking system buckles. Chinese banks operate on extreme leverage, 10 times or more. A mere 10% asset loss can wipe them out. History shows this is no exaggeration. Just 2 decades ago, every major Chinese bank was technically bankrupt. Few remember, but that dark chapter may be about to return. This economic depression is now reshaping society. On September 8th, a Meituan delivery worker in Shanghai stood on Nanjing East Road holding a sign that read, "The Times are calling for China's Martin Luther King, and we demand our own union, our own voice, and an 8-hour workday." For the party, this is the ultimate nightmare, ordinary citizens openly calling for labor rights. Meanwhile, the downturn has created new political risks. It has opened the door for Xi Jinping's rivals to move in. The regime is on edge. Ming Zhuzheng, honorary professor of political science at National Taiwan University, explained in a live broadcast that after tightening his grip on power, Xi launched a 4-step plan. First, he provoked a trade war with the United States. Second, he crushed Hong Kong, forcing capital to flee. Third, he locked down the nation for 3 years, suffocating small businesses. And fourth, he advanced state-owned giants while squeezing out private firms. Together, these policies accelerated China's decline. Professor Ming warned that a prolonged economic slump leads to social stagnation, mass unemployment, rising crime, and political unrest. The Communist Party's history is filled with ruthless internal battles, and the same pattern is emerging now. Rumors are spreading, all pointing toward one theme: the hope of Xi Jinping's downfall. Anti-Xi forces are waiting in the shadows, and Xi knows it. That is why he has intensified purges and grown increasingly paranoid. Professor Ming warned that the CCP has sunk deep into endless power struggles. The only suspense left is who dares to strike first. And if Xi Jinping wants a way out, his only path of survival might be to walk away from communism itself.
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.